Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I have a very exciting product that I will be playing with, and you probably guessed it by the title, or you knew by the title already. I'm going to be using the James Charles x Morphe palette, and I am so excited for you guys to see it in action. I really did like the eyeshadow palette, and I like the look that turned out from it. I wasn't really going for this. I was like, oh, let me do something wearable so they can like be able to like wear it, which I will do. So if you guys want me to do that, then I'll definitely hop back on and do a more wearable type of like look with this palette. But for the first look, I kind of wanted to do something that was wearable but at the same time was like, how do I explain it? Going very quickly with the thoughts that I have of the eyeshadow palette. I really have no complaints. The only complaint I do have is that it does have fallout, so if you are doing your base prior to your eyeshadow, then definitely go ahead and set that with a lot of baking powder, so that way you can just swipe it off and it doesn't ruin like your base. I normally just do my eyeshadow beforehand and then I do my base, so that way I prevent like any fallout from ruining my base or anything like that. So I would suggest you do the same. Either way, I really do like the palette. I think the shadows are very pigmented. They're super blendable. They go well together and they mesh well together. I do think the palette is worth it. It's a huge palette for the amount of shadows that you get. You get 39 shadows and the palette costs $39. So pretty much you're getting each shadow for like $1, which is not bad at all. But that being said, I do believe that the eyeshadow palette is worth the money, but it's definitely up to you. And let me know in the comments down below if you will be purchasing this eyeshadow palette when it comes back in stock, because right now it is currently out of stock. Unless you have a Morphe near you, then you might be able to find it there. So don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already, and turn your bell notification on so you are notified each time that I upload. Don't forget to comment down below what was your favorite part of the video, and in this case, what was your favorite color in the eyeshadow palette. And don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up if you did like it. Don't forget to follow me on my social media platforms. I'm currently on Instagram and Twitter. I'll list those down below so you guys can go ahead and check me out and we can chat on there. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys on my next one. Bye. Pretty good. Pretty good. Very good. You're doing great, sweetie. Great. Like seriously, great. So in today's video, I am going to be using the new Morphe x James Charles palette. This palette is like the biggest thing out there right now in the beauty community, and everybody has been talking about it. Everybody has been swatching it, reviewing it, pretty much just giving you guys your 2 cents about what they think about the palette, and I am here to do the same. I really like the packaging of this palette. This packaging is like A+. I love that it's all black, so it won't get stained and it won't get like dirty if you want to bring it with you in your kit. If you are a makeup artist and you feel like this is a palette that you can bring with you. I really do like kind of like the shiny glossy type of like writing in the front. I feel like it looks really like chic and classy, and it's not like too much, you know what I mean? But then when you open up this palette, it's like huge. Like this palette is insanely huge. Like even holding it up, like look how big it is compared to my head. It's so big. And the colors in here are like so pretty. And then they have like the huge pans in the center, which I love. Like I've never seen anything like it. I already did my base off camera and pretty much did everything that I normally do. So that way we can just focus on the eyeshadow and stuff like that. Since this is a review on solely the eyeshadow palette. I already have blush on, but I don't have highlighter because there is a highlighter inside of this palette that I want to try out. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I'm not sure what we're going for, to be honest. I'm just going to let my inner artist come out. But either way, I don't know what we're going to be doing today. I was thinking something wearable, but then at the same time something like with a pop of color. I'm not sure, to be honest. There's so many looks you can create with this palette that it's kind of like you just don't know what to do. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and start doing my makeup. with the palette. Alright, so the first thing I am going to do is use an eyeshadow base. You guys know that I literally always use a concealer, any concealer, and that's what I use as my primer. I never really use eyeshadow bases, but I had gotten this one like so long ago, and they gave me the wrong color. They gave me Painterly instead of soft ochre. That's the color that I wanted, but she said she didn't have any. And then she was like, oh, I have one, and she just threw this one in my bag. Mad sneaky. But either way, I have this eyeshadow base, and I used it in my last video if you haven't watched that one. So I actually kind of liked it to pretty much like apply before eyeshadow. So I'm gonna do the same. I have heard and I have seen in other videos that these eyeshadows perform best when you use an eyeshadow primer instead of a concealer. So we're going to put that to the test right now. Let's see how they perform with this. So I'm just going to take some of that MAC primer and I'm just going to pretty much pat it on my eyes. I'm going to zoom you guys in a little bit once I am done with this part. I'm going to take my favorite brush at the moment, which is the Zoeva 228 crease brush, and it's this one right here. And the first shade that I'm going to dip into is actually going to be the yellow. So what shade is this on the palette? First shade that I'm going to dip into is this one right here. This is the shade Tune. There is a little bit of kickback on the palette, but I don't mind that. If you do mind that, then keep that in mind. But I'm just going to tap off the excess. I'm not sure if you guys saw that, but yeah, I'm just going to tap off the excess, and I'm going to go in with this shadow. This is kind of like the muted yellow from the palette. This is meant to be a transition shade. And some of these shadows are pressed pigments as well. So what that means is that you have to work a little bit harder to like either blend them or get color payoff. In his videos, he swatched some of the shades twice, even on Instagram, because he says that that's the best way to have your shadows get the best color payoff when it comes to this palette, because some of them are pressed pigments, so they work differently. Now I'm going in with the yellow of the palette, which is this one right here. Okay, take up the whole space, I see you. So I'm going to go in with this one right here, which is B. I don't know what's up with me and like yellows lately. Oh my god. Sis, do you see that though? So I'm just packing that on and pretty much just blending that into my crease like I normally would. She is pigmented, like she really is. Like wow, I really like this color. And I'm gonna bring this yellow a little bit higher up today because I really want that transition to show. For the look that I already have in mind, I want the yellow to pretty much like show up in the top. So this is what it looks like, me like packing it on. That's 2 times. That's like so yellow, really bright. They're blending really nicely as well. I thought I should mention that. I never ever do my eyeshadow after my base, so I totally forgot that we are working with eyeshadows and pigments, so I'm gonna go ahead and bake underneath. We're just going to grab this shade right here, which is called James. Once again, like my last video, 50% of the brush on the crease, 50% on the top, because we don't want to lose that color. Oh my god, this is way too pigmented. Like, what? So good. Dude. Hello, hi. I am here and I came to make a statement. Like, what? This palette is good, you guys. I'm going to go in with the shade No Beans, and that's the one right next to Code James, and I'm placing that pretty much on the outer corner. And keeping that right under the crease, not moving it up. The shadow No Beans is giving me a little bit of a hard time to like blend out. I don't know why, but it's like giving me a little bit more of a hard time to blend out than the other shades, maybe because it's darker. But it doesn't look bad, it's just like you have to work your brush in like more. In that sense, like you have to like blend more than you would have to with like the other ones. But yeah, I just thought I'd mention that and let you guys know as I'm like, you know, applying the shadow and stuff like that. So I've always wanted to have a super duper true to color red in a palette, and it's never happened. Like every time I buy a palette and I'm like, oh my god, this red looks super duper red and it's gonna have the same payoff, it doesn't. So I'm hoping that this one does, even though I did swatch it already and it was red, like it was red. But let's hope that once we start blending and stuff like that, it doesn't turn into another color. So the red one is called You're Kidding. I'm just gonna place You're Kidding right in the outer corner. This is a very like fiery red look today, like what? And I switched over to a Morphe M514 brush just to like get into that like crease. Going in again with You're Kidding one more time, one more layer. Ooh, girl. I am liking this. I want to grab the shade Tune and B to mix together on the other brush that I had, the Zoeva, and I'm just going to have 50% of the brush on my brow bone and 50% of the brush on my crease. Just want to blend these two colors together, and I want to bring back the intensity of the yellow on the top. Going with the shade T, which is the last one in the first row, and apply that to the outer corners. Once again, apply that to the outer corners, circular motions, and bring it in with whatever's left on my brush. Start bringing it into the crease. Alright, you guys, so I ended up doing this one off camera because my camera died. What's new? But I really like how this turned out. It's not something that I was actually going towards, but I decided to like play around because I'm like, I mean, this palette was created to like unleash your inner artist, right? So I can't just go basic. But these shades that I used did have a lot of fallout, so I had to add more of a baking layer. Because when I wiped it off, a little bit of that blue stained kind of like right here on the sides of my nose, but I fixed it. It's okay. We're living. So I'm going in with Social Blade, and I'm going to be using the Sigma E25 brush, and I'm going to place that towards the outer corner. At first, when you apply this eyeshadow, it doesn't look super lime green and pigmented as it does on the pan, but this is one of the pressed pigments, so you have to like go and double dip in there. You see, once that second layer is on, you see the actual like payoff of the eyeshadow. So I'm just taking that shade and packing it on for the 4th time because I want this to be like really intense. It looks so good, you guys. Like, look how good that looks. And for the inner corner part of the eye, I'm going to grab the shade Playground, which is the intense blue, matte blue in the palette. And I'm taking the same brush, the E25, but this is a different brush. It's clean. And I'm just placing that in the inner corner. This one has more fallout than any other shadow, to be completely honest. Not sure why that is, but just thought you should keep that in mind. So now what I'm doing is I'm just meshing those two colors together. I applied it for the third time, and I'm just meshing those two colors together. I'm grabbing code James and 10% off, and I'm just placing that with the Morphe M514. And I'm taking that on the outer corner and pretty much using circular motions and meshing the brown together, just so it doesn't have like a stopping area and everything just blends together. So I finished up the rest of my eyes. I added some lashes. Lashes I'm using today are these. These are the Luz lashes in Full Glam collection, and the style is $1 Million. Finished it up with a dark liner on the top just to hide the lash band, smoke it out a little bit. Then I did a pencil liner on my waterline, which is this one by LA Girl. This one is the neon eyeliner in Fresh. So this one right here is what I have on my waterline right now. I'm just going to pop that highlighting shade from the palette, which is the second one in the third row. So now I'm just going to take that shade, the highlighting shade, and I'm going to take my brush, and this is the Sigma F03 brush. Ooh, that's nice. I'm going to take the Morphe setting spray and spray my face with that. Now I'm just going to pretty much line my lips and apply a lipstick, and I'm going to be taking my favorite lip liner. This is the Jordana COCO LOCO. So now that my lips are lined, I'm taking this Stay Matte liquid lip color by Rimmel London. I picked this shade up today. This is the shade Raw Embrace, and it looks really, really nude, and I just want to try it out and see like if it's good or not. But I saw it today and I was like, I need to get that. Oh wow, she's nude. Show blade. Oh my god, I just fucked up one of the shadows. And that's just great. That's amazing. I love that for me. And another thing that I do want to mention is that they do